So good evening, welcome to Donny Chaingang, or maybe it should be Ciao, because it is, of course, the Nonnas month. It is the Italian classics. We've got Strada Bianchi coming up this weekend. Really looking forward to watching that. Actually, might get to watch the whole lot from start to finish if I'm really good and get everything done nice and early. Really looking forward to watching the riders out on the gravel road. I've seen enough limestone, having just put down a 200-metre big drive, 200 square metres of driveway down. I don't really want to see any more white roads, but do you know what? Can't have too much of a good thing, so let's get into it and head into Nonna's month. We are, of course, supported by the best Italian restaurant in the business, as far as we're all concerned, on the Chaingang, based in Sheffield, and one of the key places, a haunt of cyclists for many years, and of course, keen supporters of the Chaingang, and looked after lots of our riders when they've been down there. Now, quick reminder for everybody. This is, of course, the first of the links that has only gone out to those members in March. Quick reminder, if you haven't got the link and you are watching, then the odds are it's probably got in your spam folder because it comes out automated. Rather than us sitting down and typing out individual emails, it's the wonders of modern technology which enables us to run the gang. So check the spam box, and remember, it doesn't come direct from the Full Speed Events website. It comes from Ticket Tailor notifications. Next up, the ride tonight. Well, tonight's ride is all part of Nonna's, and we are going on to the continent. In fact, you are all heading basically where I am right now. We're in France. So bonjour, and welcome to France. We are not all that far from Mont Ventoux, but far enough for the gang to get there quicker. Don't forget, of course, tonight is going to be Casse-Passe, an absolute cracker. Key rules as usual. Stay around the yellow beacon. And don't lose him. Well, don't poke the bear. Don't upset him. Otherwise, you might end up with a really weird go, go, go. We saw that happen. We've seen a couple of really interesting go-go-goes this week. Will Russ do the same? Well, the course, very simple. It's one most people will have done multiple times through to the Marina Sprint. Our start-finish line through past Mont Saint-Michel. Head up through the Pavé Sprint, up over the Aqueduct KOM. And then instead of dropping through Ballon Sprint, we turn left up the Petite KOM. Lap 1 will be key to try and keep everybody together there. Back down through the Marina Sprint once again. 2 laps of that, finishing at the Marina Sprint Arch. 290 metres of elevation, 145 metres each lap. And warm down 3.1k. Russ giving everybody plenty of time to spin their legs out. Key number 46.9k. Now, if riders get spat from that yellow beacon group before or after that go, 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 the man who is in charge, and a massive thank you, a late call-up for the one and only Simon Runnett. Simon doing this job repeatedly at the moment, and got to say a massive thank you to Simon. As you can see, Simon on brown with a gritty kit. And looking the part there, all ready to go in red, resplendent in red as our red beacon. So please let Simon know if you're stopping, if you are just riding for an hour, if you need to go do something daft off the back, if you're going to get back under your own steam, just let him know. That's all he asks. It's really straightforward. That will help him immensely. Now, this route has a number of key trigger points where people will get distanced and head towards our red beacon, and they are basically the points at the top of the climbs, the Petite KOM and the Aqueduct KOM. So where you see those red squares on the maps, they are the summits, and at those points, any gaps will be amplified massively. So that is where it's key for the back to squeeze as fast as it can and the front to ease off. Let's show you that in terms of profile. So as you can see from our start, we go around the circuit in a clockwise direction. The riders will hit the 13k marker. That is the bridge across the top. There is a flat summit here for the riders to sprint in to the group from the back. So if you are not, I repeat, if you're not on with the group at that point, then please, guys, make sure that you squeeze on as fast as you can as you go across the top of the aqueduct at 13k. It's even harder at 19.25. That is when we come off the top of the aqueduct climb, go down along the flatlands onto the Petite KOM, and then descend back down to the marina. That is much more knife edge and much more likely to split the riders. So as we fast approach the time, really key tonight, make sure please guys that you jump on, make sure you stay around the yellow beacon. That is absolutely key for our riders to do tonight. It will ensure that we get away nice and smoothly. Just see the yellow beacon there, that's Russ on the far side. You can see our red beacon, that is Simon Runnett, all lined up and ready to roll out. So let's keep it all together. Quick reminder, if we do go over that 100 rider marker, then you won't be able to see the front if you're at the back, and the back you won't be able to see the front. So please guys, eyes on sticks, tries to make sure you do an L impression every now and then. Good to see we've got to Stefano Borelli. Stefano is on the gang. So we have Nonnas on board on the very first of the DCG for the Nonnas month. We had, of course, the WOW DCG yesterday. And we're just going to go out with the one and only Jesse Yates. Jesse, of course, has some good genetics, let's just say that. That's probably the politest way of putting it. His old man was kind of quick. So let's see if Jesse can match the power of a certain Sean. I'm presuming he's got just as talented and all those genes and genetics going to be working well tonight. So let's have a look. Jesse going out and rolling in with the main gang. So let's just take a check on the back of the gang. It's looking pretty good like everybody's out, but we will take a little roll back. So good to see Jesse joining the gang. We're just the back of the group. Simon Runnett going to be chasing his way back on. This is our red beacon for the night. Simon, a.k.a. Sean, a.k.a. Simon. Good to have Simon on board once again. A consummate red beacon, somebody who's done this repeatedly. Just closing down, I think, at the moment on... this is going to be Chris Richardson at a guess. So the chase on to get on the back. Simon Booth is on the back of the group. And key here is to make sure that we get everybody on board before it starts to really wind up. That draft is going to take some serious effect. Remember, of course, this is now also the run to the finishing line in 2 laps time. So a quick reminder, guys, 2 laps time. This is the run to the finish. You get a little bit of a heads up because we're going to go through this time, next time, and then we will make our way in for the very final time in through the finish. Then there is a warm down on the other side. So through we go. 2 laps to go. As you can see, Simon Booth just tucked in nicely with Chris Canham and with Mr. Runnett as well. So our gang on the way through. We've got Finn Davies back in here with us once again. We've got Mr. Taylor, Mr. Canham, who's in here. Jesse, we've already seen. Darren Topless in and on board. Let's take another quick check on through. Ian from Stellaton back on again. That's going to be Billy Nobakes in with us as well. Craig Forrester in as well. James West, Chris Bull, Dixon Moore. Dick, of course, one of our winners on the DCG gang members giveaway. Goes to Continental in February. So those emails got an admin day tomorrow, and that's where we're going to be pushing the details out to our riders. I'm sure I've just seen Matt Williams in here, Simon Warren as well, Jim Flynn, Tracy Seeley's on board. Tracy, of course, our yellow beacon yesterday, responsible for that incredibly late call for the go, 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 but an incredible explosion. She let it go, that actually ramped to 4+ watts per kilo. So just taking a little bit of a check at the back. See where everybody is. Dale Williams currently at 2.9 watts per kilo. 93 riders on board. The group at the back just hovering in and around. I'm loving it. Dale Williams had a technical issue, caught his legs. So just following Dale as he moves his way in to the into the bunch. And that group all nicely together as they come in and through. The gang pretty much holding position on the way through. Still going to work our way through. You can see Mark Grant back on board, but Mike Killisworth in here, Andy Keyworth in. Rich Starkey's in here as well. Mr. Mason on board. Chris James from Elkson. Dr. D I've seen rolling in and about. When does it ease off? Never. It's Donny Chaingang. You can see Jimmy Max actually managed to find his charger today. Noticed Russ was very quickly and asking him whether he had full power and it's going to last out to the end of the session. And got Bobby on board as well. Just we've got Vin Donahoe in here. Got Tracy on board as well. Tracy, of course, the beacon from last night. So Tracy Seeley, our yellow beacon yesterday, doing a great job of keeping everything together on Crit City. So Tracy going to have three Donny Chaingangs this week. So coming in and through the island, this group looking good at the moment. Just watching Mr. Potts as we come in and through. In fact, Matt Winston on board today. Look, it's Matt in. Matt's in. Oh, he's in the orange and black kit, looking good on his way through. We'll see if Matt's on form. If he's currently feeling the effects of long training camp days in the car and in the team car. I think we've got Rob Wimble in. Good to see we've got Rob Wimble back in. Rob taking a bit of a break at the end of the cyclocross season, going for the Cannondale bike there as he goes through. Interesting choice on the way in. John Wild in here from Fellow Viewer. No surprises that we've got John on board. John, of course, going to know exactly where we're heading because Fellow Viewer is our key partner when it comes to giving us all of the details, the stats, the profiles, the graphics. Trying to get a clear shot of John. He's actually quite an elusive man to get a picture of. So let's take a little check. Nick Murray in here from the V6R Racing team. It's the Raccoon, that is Andy Wharton in here as well. Looking pretty smooth. John Gale just tucked on the back. Doug Main in there. Isaac Oliver hovering around the back, keeping out of trouble. Saving his energy, no doubt, for the climb. Rich Langmid in here. And we have the one and only. It is Stefano Barelli. So Stefano in here and tucked in, riding in the blue La Squadra kit. Looking pretty smooth here on that blue Tron bike. And the Azuri rider in that Azuri blue on his way through, and great to have Stefano on the ride. Back on the Chaingang once again. Don't forget, of course, all the way through the month, it is Nonna's month here. We'll be bringing you details when we do our final get-together with Mr. Barati, which will probably be tomorrow, in theory. Admin day for us on the Chaingang. No shows to put together. No graphics to grab and draw and design, so going to be a nice, going to be an admin day instead. So going to be lots of emails heading in and out. Bit of tech sorting for a few people. We've got lined up as well. So going to be another busy Chaingang day tomorrow, as well as it's been Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday this week. Good to see we've got Simon Warren on board once again. 7, of course, of 100 climbs. One of two very well-known authors. One was slightly more famous than the other on the Chaingang when it comes to climbing hills and writing books about them. We've got someone, and of course, the one and only Jimmy Allen as well. Both top authors and both ride the Chaingang regularly. Just hunting for Jimmy Allen. He's probably hovering somewhere in the middle of the bunch at the moment, being very smart. In fact, I've just seen him somewhere about here. Here we go. Jimmy Allen, the other of our bike climbs authors, in here. So Jimmy in the Mondrian kit, and interestingly going for the Laserman's option, aka going for a Tron bike. So the gang are looking pretty smooth as they come in over the bridge. You can actually see if we take a look out from the island across. The riders coming in facing the Von Top or Mont Ventoux look-alike, who climb the most boring climb in the world ever on Zwift by some margin. Mont Saint-Michel in the distance. And I have to say, I think their sunflowers are a little bit early. They won't be out yet. They're certainly not that tall. That's for sure. I can tell you that for certain. Okay. Give us a little bit of spin. It looks like everyone there. Looks like Finn Davis' legs are on fire. Probably are after Tuesday. He's absolutely flying again. Good to see Finn back on board. So let's take a check. Good fire or bad fire? Well, I think probably painful. So the going on the way through, the wind turbines turning in the distance. They've been turning pretty busily in and around here and across in the Charente. The turbine's been absolutely blasting. It's been pretty windy for a week. Although it is almost as sunny as it is shown currently on Zwift. We can do a direct weather report. Today was 8 degrees and sunny. Last night was -4 degrees and blinking cold. And that's just indoors with no heating. But it's not snowing. It's not even close. And it's going to be 11 degrees, I think, at the weekend. And sunny. So, bike ride time. Just got to get the timing right to make sure I'm back on time. We've got a show on Sunday, and we've got, of course, Strade Bianche coming up as well. So you know what? Group's looking after itself at the moment. Grupo Compacto, well and truly. Everybody pretty tranquilo at the moment. So it looks like the gang can just go grab a coffee. In fact, somewhere there was a coffee, but it's not made it into the studio. Do you know what? Let's get you some noise and some sounds of the Chaingang. We'll be back soon. Well, I can confirm the coffee's good, proper Italian coffee, which is currently means fuel back up, and gotta say everybody's riding nice and smoothly. Good to see everybody is on the way through. Simon, run it. You get the Yorkshire, run it. You don't get him run A, believe me. I was watching the message board on the way through. Nice pace, ticking along smoothly at the moment. I think the group pretty much all in there, and just started to head inland. We'll just take our map view out, gone in and over, and heading into towards the village. So going to be heading in towards the Pave Sprint. Interesting that young Mr. Davis just wanting admittance into the Chaingang group. I suspect you've been let in, buddy. You are already in. Russ has beat me to it. There you go. Or one of the other gang. Do have more than me just on the moderation on there. Johnny, here's a heads up for everybody. We hit the studios 1 hour prior to ride time. Pretty much from then, really struggle to do anything else other than make sure that we get everything out and through. To the riders on the gang who are out and running, make sure we get a show going out to you. So it gives you a quick indicator. Now, here you go. So Rodney taking along, working his way in through. Looks at the moment like everybody all pretty much together as we're going to come in to the Pave Sprint. Crowd going wild. Donny Chaingang comes into town. So the Chaingang heading out of town, going back to our helicopter view as we head out. Looks like one rider just off the back of the gang. Just going to take a quick check to see who's off the back. Looks like Ted Tunnicliffe, the rider just on a light joint, just jumping in there. So just chasing Simon and Keith Richardson. So Simon just easing back off with Keith there. So hitting 100 riders on the Chaingang. Quick reminder, remember, you'll only see the beacons. You won't necessarily see front to back and back to front. So Finn Davis just took to the back of this group. Remember, this is now the run across towards the Aqueduct KOM. You can just see it on the map, top right hand side of our screen, as once we've gone through the snaking bends, and we're going to make our way in. Key here is for the group to squeeze as close as possible to our yellow beacon. The key phrase is all pile on top of Russ, and that's kind of how it works. He's only a little fella, but you know what, everybody pile on top of Russ, and then all of a sudden the world gets an easier place as we come up over the top. really interesting. I reckon there's more trombites tonight than we normally get on the Chaingang. Just looking at the volume, I reckon a lot of people going for what is a good all-round bike. Now, Fraser coming from us, regroup over the top. And he's taking a little bit of a check at the back of the gang. This is where it's going to be critical to make sure that our riders keep it together. So front ease, back squeeze, as Russ says. That's going to hopefully keep the world together. Everybody does hopefully know the drill. It's real simple stuff. So we're going to keep a check on Russ as we come up on to the climbs. We sat at the back of this pack. So the gang are just having to push to get themselves in. Good to see Stefano Barelli on here. Stefano just getting a little bit of assistance at the back of the gang. Stefano joining us because, of course, it is Nonna's month here. Enjoy the ride. I'm sure we will, and great to have you with us, sir. So the main pack going over the Pont de Gare, the aqueduct and viaduct, which is all of Roman origin, exists in real life, looks exactly the same, in fact, in real life, only generally jam-packed full of tourists rather than bike riders. As the gang make their way around, a little bit of a gap just opening to our red beacon, so we're going to just take a little bit of a run back, the front just stretching out as we went over the top there, the back just having a little bit of work to do here. So it looks like Chris Sadler, Simon Runnett, and Mr. Hammer just having to do a little bit of a push here. So Tom Haggett. Let's take a double check on our riders' numbers up near the front. Not seeing anybody pushing more than about 1.82, 1.2.2 on the front. Wayne Bart, Polish Fleet, iPad update. Indeed, a number of riders having updates affecting their joining of the ride. Hopefully, Mr. Hammer and Runnett and Sadler are going to be in to the finish. Just a quick check. Remember, make sure you get down to Nonna's. See Signor Berarelli. He will be looking after everybody. And we have, of course, some great giveaways coming up. We will see Stefano later, so ciao Stefano, we will see you in a short while. Now the gang over the top, we've got a little group at the back trying to chase on. Looks like a few people just at the back just to give assistance, but that gap at the moment of 15 seconds, I think, back from this group. We're going to take a double check. Yep, 13 seconds back to the gang at the back of the group to our red beacon at the moment. So from Ross back, a bit of a gap developing between the riders as they came over the top of the Pont de Gare, and that has caused a little bit of a split. So Simon now on a bit of a charge. You can see the riders dropping in back to the side here. Remember, we've got to get ourselves up at the Petite KOM. And that's our next major challenge. It looks like Hammer with 0 watts per kilo out of action here. So don't forget, you've got about 5 minutes for a late join, guys. 5 minutes for a late join if you're going to jump back in. So here we go, Sadler and Runnett charging their way back into towards the group. I think Hammer's got to have a dropout, dead in the water at the side of the road, or legs stop working or choosing to jump on. Going to be seeing Mr. Berardi of Nonna's very quickly. Now, here we go. Still chasing. They should come to the back of the group just as we come into the base of the climb. The main group will slow down. Quick reminder, guys. Over 100. If you aren't watching where the red beacon is, you're not going to know where we are. So going to be taking the right hand bend here, then left sweeper Going to head towards the T-junction, which is where you're going to go up the climb. So here we go, sharp right-hand turn through chicanes. Next will be a left-hand junction. So Wayne Barr doing a fantastic job dropping back just to give a little bit of a assistance for them, just to give them a little bit of a breadcrumb on the way through. So thank you, Wayne. So Russ going to take our group up on to the climb. Taking that left-hand turn, group on compactor, all back together once again. Now, this is a big challenge. This is where the gang can show its worth. Because if it can keep together over the top, we have very rarely made it as one group over the top without having people flying off the front and people being distanced off the back, even on lap one. Will today be the day when the group keeps it all together? Remember, we're into March. We have only got 2 months left. Let's see who's going to do this. We do regularly drop people. However, today we're all going to go as one. Don't lose them up off the front. Don't have anybody in trouble off the back. And in theory, we'll see everybody going over the top. So let's see how the riders go. Tom Lenny racing after tonight. That's why he's late. Better late than never. That's what I always say. Not true, that actually. It's better late than never on the Chaingang. Let's put it that way. We'd rather that you are a late join than not coming at all. And it was great to have everybody in on the way through. So remember, this is about keeping those legs spinning. Mr. Runnit just keeping an eye on Harrison, on Grant and Garford, who are at the back of that pack there. He knows that if by sitting off the back, it allows you to see the back 100. So when you get over 103, if you sit in the main part of the group, Simon's doing a brilliant job here. So if you dive in the middle of the group, what you find is you can't see the back of the group because it'll pick your nearest 100 riders. That will include the front generally. If you're slightly out the back of the group, then you will be able to see the 100 most important riders to you as red. And those are the rear 100 riders, not the front. So on to the climb. We're just in with Keith Richardson at the moment. Let's get our drone cam up in the air. Haven't crashed that for a few days. There we go, straight into the trees. Straight through the tree trunk. Can we hit a tree trunk? Yep, that's one. That'll be 2, 3. Oh, nearly hit that one. Definitely got that one. Right. So the riders on the way through. Looks like Eddie Dalglish at the moment, just on the back of that pack, being checked by Simon Runnett going round this first right-hand bend. So we're into the zigzags. This is where the rhythm of the road has a habit of breaking the pack apart. Just saw Josh Mayland in there. Josh, of course, of Halo Wheels, one of our key supporters. We've got to say a massive thank you to the guys. You can see them at the bottom of your screen: 1080 Continental, Velaskin, Halo, Nonnas, Gritty and OTE for looking after the members of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. So Josh just rolling around by the back of that pack, just making sure everybody's okay at the back. Josh, of course, one of our super quick riders, and going to be making his way up through. Yellow's getting dropped. I hope not, Russ. Definitely getting to the back of the group. So Stefano continue to push on. We know he's not going to give up. It's made of tough stuff. And don't forget, of course, Nonnas with live music. I think tonight's singer would be somebody Ray. I think it's Jane Ray, if I can remember correctly. Lots of live music coming out at Nonnas during February. And going to be rolling into March with that as well. And something about the French route, we see lots more of the Mondrian jerseys, the La Vie Claire as was jerseys. We see a lot more Tron bikes as well on this route, really interesting. Now, this group is pretty much together. This is probably the best behaved we've seen the entire gang on this climb on lap 1. No real gaps opened up. There's just Simon just keeping tabs on everybody at the back of the group. Looking pretty good at the moment. Hopefully it'll stay that way up this climb. Still got a fair few twists and turns to go. Craig Forrester only in until they go tonight. Covered in the house again. Sir, make sure you take it easy. Do not dig deep. General protocols now for the pro teams. You test positive, 10 days minimum off the bike. Most people are saying takes 7 to 8 weeks off the bike if you test positive. If you have long COVID, and I can tell you that from family experience, expect to have up to 2 years off the bike. Don't risk it. Currently 2 million people in the UK with long COVID. And it can take 2 years. The general expectation is a year to 2 years for most people. So, Mr. Forrester, yeah, don't push it. Make sure you keep yourself tested. And we wish your wife well. Hopefully, not going to get too badly. I know a lot of people down with it at the moment. But if in doubt, make sure that you rest and don't go down too heavy. Make sure you keep testing, buddy. And hopefully the whole family will be well again soon. Now, just taking a little look here. Mr. Little at the back here. James Little is capable of some serious firepower, some serious wattage. We would say, please, sir, make sure if you're going to drop back and then squeeze on, you make sure that the gang on the way up. Mr. Forrester, like Lance, however, he's never tested positive yet. Yeah, very topical, love it. Chris Callum, weird thing is after 2 years, not sure you could get back on the bike. I have 4 years off. When I finished racing, I stopped racing. Last race was World's Masters track at the Velodrome. I have 4 years off. Didn't touch a bike for 4 years, literally. It was brilliant. And then I get back on the bike and rode maybe on average once every 2 months for about another 5 years. I got back on the bike and absolutely loved it. And all that time suffering on the bike was forgotten. And it was gone out of the memory. And now, doesn't matter whether I'm on the bike once a week, once a day, once a month, or once every 3 months, depending on what we've got coming up. Gotta say, it is absolutely stunning stuff. Now, Isaac Oliver, I suspect, is probably going to go for a bit of a kick here. Yep, here we go. Just going to do a standing start on his way through. So Isaac just going to push on from the back. All good from Isaac. Definitely one of our fast riders. So if you want to revitalise your riding, just basically take a gap, don't ride the bike for a bit, jump on, make sure you enjoy it, because we do this because we enjoy it. Whether that's Russ on here, or it's us on the commentary team, or whether it is, of course, going out and riding the bike and making sure that we actually know what we're talking about now. Craig Forrester, who's going to take Strada on Saturday? Interesting. I suppose the question might be, will it be a Jumbo Visma rider after their absolutely stunning start to the season? Are we going to see something like Pickup? And to be honest, can anybody beat Tadej Pogacar? Because I have to say he's my bet. So my prediction is Tadej, because he's just something else. Right, let's have a look. Little bit of a gap opening back to the red. If you're with red, squeeze now. Phil Oliver, Simon Runnett, you've got to push now. You are going to get distance on this descent. You need to move and move fast. Same for Mr. James. You will be distanced on the descent. You cannot back off now. You can see that gap is already growing. Let's get that drone cam up. So that gap that was 2 meters, now currently sitting at 50 meters. It's going to extend very, very quickly indeed. Going to go up to about 60 now. Oh, to goodness, you guys at the back have got anvils down, Mr. James. On his way through. Somebody did indeed go left. They will get spat back in again. So Chris James saying, don't wait, Chris. Come on, matey. Give it a big push down. Now, you're going to see the little light riders having to do some serious effort here. Simon Oxenham just starting to be distance here. Dr. D being distance on this end. Rich Starkey here. Work to do. Kirkham the same. Jesse, yes, Jesse definitely counts as, like, I've seen his profile picture on Zwift, definitely. So here we go. So dropping down. Let's see. It's Phil Oliver, not Isaac. Phil in the back here. Phil is definitely okay for a dig. Phil is a very fast rider indeed. Just going to take a little bit of a check here. A lot of people having to put in some serious effort to stay in here. I've seen Finn Davis having to put in monster watts. Basically, if you're a lightweight rider and you're on this descent, it is very, very difficult to stay with that group. So keep going, ready's blown. Okay, Chris, take it easy. Don't wipe yourself out. Make sure that you get some enjoyment on the way through. Mr. Finney, just taking a little bit of a check with Mr. Finney. He's on his way up the Von Top at the moment. Definitely not what you want to be doing. Hopefully you'll come back in the opposite direction now. Just watching Simon Oxenham. Oxenham is in trouble here. So we're going to go. We've got Emsley, we've got Hager, Evans, Kirkham. They're nearly at the group. Oxenham, I am not sure where you are, buddy, but you are nowhere near that Yellow Beacon group. Then it's Starkey, Phil Oliver, Dr. D. Going to be very difficult to get in. So there are a number of riders distanced behind the back of the pack. Kirkham and this group of about 5 riders are on the way down. They are by no means the last of the group. They are a long way clear, 15 seconds clear. So Simon Oxenham, 12 seconds down at the moment on that Yellow Beacon group. So far, in fact, we can't even see the pillar of light. Phil Oliver, Rich Starkey, Simon Runnett, Dr. D, Chris James and co. Looks like that gang all being distanced out from that main Beacon group now. Sam Emsley, Mr. Evans, Haggart and co are all capable and competent riders. The problem they've got, that gap opened up. So Mr. Kirkham, your team's ready. Get in that group, hurry up. So here we go. Nick Murray goes through. Emsley's going to make the junction. We're going to be on 1 lap to go when we hit the Marina Sprint. They have just about made it. There you go. Amazing what you do. What happens when you tell people to tease up. So just riding in with Sam as he comes in to the group. In they come. Underneath the banner, 1 lap to go. It is 1 lap to go, ladies and gentlemen. Fastest lap times coming through, fastest sprint times for the riders coming through. Good to see Mr. Ratcliffe in with us as well. Young Mr. Ratcliffe can take the young title today because he's one of our youngsters. So Mikey at the moment, only 14, running of course for the Clancy Briggs Academy squad. So we have 3 or 4 groups of riders behind this main bunch down distance. So Simon Oxenham on his way through. Chris Ball, thanks for joining us, Chris. Chris got to take a jump off. Thanks for riding, Chris. Nice and steady, buddy, on that recovery. We'll catch up with you soon. So Simon Oxenham currently doing 4.5 watts per kilo, 11 seconds to the back of the bunch. That's a serious ask. Phil Oliver got some serious distance. Rich Starkey the same too. Simon Runnett, Dr. D, looks like the bus forming. Dr. D, Simon Runnett, Rich Starkey, Chris James, Stefano and I think that is going to be our man on the mountain. Currently distanced on the way down, but definitely enjoyed the downhill, buddy. Now, Red Beacon with Starkey and Dr. D. The bus is rolling. Sandwiched in between the bus, looks like Chris Bourne going to jump off, so Phil Oliver and Simon Oxenham in that. And I'll tell you something, Simon Oxenham is on a bit of a march on here. Wayne Barr, this man deserves a medal today. Wayne has dropped back again. So Wayne isn't just easy enough because he can't keep up. Wayne is waiting for the rider behind. And now he's picking it up. Wayne is going back. He's looking after all of the riders and then giving them some assistance back into the group. Absolutely unasked for, uncalled for, but absolutely gentlemanly stuff from Wayne Barr. Great to see Wayne. I'll tell you something, spirit of the Chaingang, that's what it's all about. Going back, helping everybody, helping people get back on again, and then fighting out of the finish. Fantastic to see Wayne, and don't forget for C44, the team who's looking after. Sorry, say would have helped, but 40 minutes scares me indeed. We are over that point. We are on one lap to go. Yeah, definitely nice work to get back on at that point. Simon Oxton strong as an ox, as the name would suggest. So just riding in with Jimmy Mack here. Jimmy on the back of this group, hanging out at the back of the bunch. Looks like he's alongside Russ. You two having a chat, guys? Jimmy Mack and Russ Downing at the back of a group, having a chinwag. Nothing particularly new there, really. Jimmy Mack has a better tan at the moment, which is quite impressive given he's even further north than Russ. So Russ had thought about it, decided to be kind to the few that were off the back. Now, who is off the back behind? Phil Oliver is currently 30 seconds. He's not. I can't see Phil going to make that back, even at 4.5 watts per kilo. Neither is Rich Starkey. Mr. Button is on the back, so going to be very interesting to see what happens. I'm loving the sarcasm from Tom Lindley. Where's the front going? Don't leave me behind. Trevor in here. Dale Williams expected it for the lap banner. Make the lightweights work before the climb. Well, maybe not today. Everybody's on tenterhooks. So Finley Hudson, another of our youngsters on the gang, in his distinctive Cape Epic Tiger Strike kit. Just hanging at the back, waiting to charge through. Guess we've got Mr. Hudson back in with us again. Good to see you, buddy. Now, Rich and Rowan on the way through. So Dr. Rich and Simon making the way in and through. I think Rich just calling it a date. Now, back of this group, you've got Lindley in there. Just try and jump on with Tom Lindley. Then you've got Richardson. Then it's Grant. You've got Garford tucked at the back here. You've got Russ rolling in the middle. Because you just ride on Swift, mate. You need some racecraft. Get some road racing done. Get those elbows out. Just keep them getting pushed back by other riders. And the fact you don't waver all that much. Yeah, exactly, Mr. Mason. Throw that 60 kilos around. It's actually talking about the legend that is Gareth Mason today with somebody. I'll not tell you why. Okay, here we go. In with Craig Forrester. Rich Orrell. I tell you, all the suspects are here. Bobby Mason offering to go back and help out with the bus at the back. Jimmy Allen sat in the group. We're just about to go underneath the bridge. So just watching this pack. We're just over the top with Jimmy. No, thank you kindly. Comes the answer from Bobby. So Tracy tucked in here, Stevens, Eddie Dalglish in the gang, Dowins, Gibbo, Rob Varty, Sean Ferron, James West in here, so Rodney's tucked in, Coons in, Malin's in, holding on, Liam Calloway nicely in this group as well, Taylor and Potts in there, Winston still in, I've just seen Jimmy Mack currently holding station up near the front. Russ just a little bit further back. He's not drop, but he's definitely gone back. He's probably texting now, Russ. He'll be back. He'll be back. You want to find him? Go on, see if we can find him. Takes a little bit of doing. There he is. So here we go. Russ on his way back up. Let's take a little bit of a check. Well, he said he'd be back. He is. They're currently echelon and bobbling the way in and around the road. So one of the great things about having lots of different leads on the WoW DCG, if you've been watching the chat, is that all of our leaders have their own different styles. Some people like to call it as a instant 3Gs, 3Os to test the rider's reflexes, to put and taking a bit like you see in a genuine bona fide gang or road race. Other people like to give the riders a heads up so it's not quite so fearsome, so nobody just gets caught napping, everybody has a chance. But it's those differences that are really good. It has its advantages, it has disadvantages as well. And of course, we have lots of benefits from having the experience of Russ on the Chaingang as solo leader. I don't think Russ has actually missed one as leader since Christmas at all, if my memory serves me correctly. Could be wrong. Don't think Jimmy's had to do his stand-in being the wolf for a while. He'll be getting out of practice. Well, Russ back in again, so everybody now is back on tender hooks. Wondering what's going to happen, when is it going to happen? I love the fact that Tracy... Yeah, the go has gone, the go has gone. Time to find a rider who we think is going to be in with the mix here, try and jump on board. We'll try and get ourselves up to the front. We'll go with Mason. Hopefully Mason can make this front group today. So the go has gone, the riders... Watch this spread out now. So we want one big ball, one squirming, teeming mass. I mean, like a big ball of mackerel in the sea. Well, all of a sudden the sharks are on the prowl, and it looks to me like the attacks are in. You can just see the front has pushed on here, and this is about seeing who's going to stretch this out. Looks like Jesse Yates has quickly moved his way up to the very front at the moment. So now the pressure is on. This is where the riders know that if they're not there, they're going to find themselves in trouble. We just watching Jesse. He's right in the mix here. And he's got that today's plan jersey. And Callum Crabe is leading it out at the moment. So Crabe on the front of this group. But look at the tail behind. I'm loving Donny saying, yeah. Am I allowed to say Joy? Because that's usually Russ's line. Russ actually at the moment not tucked in this massive ball of riders. He's going to have to work his way back up here. So at the moment it is going to be Clark Keyworth in here. It's a big pack of riders. Let's see who's going to be able to take this out. And there's a huge amount. I'm expecting a trademark kick up from Russ to get himself back into this back. Now Matt Winston nicely tucked in here as well. Sadler, Evans, Brewer, Gale is in here. Keyworth in here. Just trying to run away through Russ. Just making his way back onto the group. He's back. Now Callum Craig's got to stay in. Darren Toplish just losing a little bit of ground. Trevor Crehan, Matt Crease. Guys, work together. Get a gang together. Get a group. And start working together. You will minimize your losses on the way through. So find a group of riders. Look at the numbers around you. Get talking to them on that leaderboard and start to use the riders around you. And just see the gang well and truly spread out. So here we go. This is the run across. One of our favourite little bits to ride when I'm running on a group ride on here, because this is deceptive. And the brakes in rhythm, currently at -5, slight downhill to the bridge. We then accelerate back up out of the bridge. Russ at 0 watts per kilo at the moment, so it looks like Russ is going to have an interesting chase now. He's got to pick it back up again. I think that was a pause to pick up a phone, a bottle or something similar. He's gone for a ghost. Love it. This might be our yellow beacon. There you go. Can you see him? No, neither can I. Loving it. Hi Russ, you back. He's back. You might as well use your ghost up out of sight. Now got a bit of work to do to get back into the gang here. And you can just see everybody fighting to stay on the wheels. Nobody wants to let those wheels go. Simon Oxenham tucked in there. We've got to move on the front though. Looks like we've got another attack going clear on the front. The question is who's gone for this. I think just taking a little bit of a look, it is going to be one of our youngsters who's trying to get up there. It's going to be Jesse Yates who's gone for this. He's being chased by Dale Williams. Now, can Jesse Yates? This is a long, long way to go. Russ Dunn going to take a roll in. So Russ just taking a run in, I think. So he's going to pick up, there's a group, Russ, if you're listening, which I'm sure you are. And there's about 3 groups behind you. The biggest one is the nearest one on its way towards you. So you might want to pick that group up. I'm sure they'll appreciate the chat. As Jesse Yates, the sole leader at the moment, with the group behind chasing. Dale Williams has been absorbed in that group. Well, the sunflowers out in the virtual world of France. They're definitely not out in France at the moment. A few months to go yet for that. Now, Russ had one of those weeks, and well, we all have them. Let's face it, I definitely know that feeling. We all know that feeling. Life, the universe, and everything can conspire to make life hard on the bike. It does happen now. Let's keep an eye on Yates. As we come flying in and through, he's got a gap, but they're leaving him out there. Are they just going to let him burn some energy off here? So leaving Jesse Yates up the road here. I had the pleasure of watching Jesse's career progress on his way through. And getting quicker and quicker, watching him make his way into the professional ranks. I think Jesse about to be absorbed in that group. Indeed he is. So this group all back together again. Just losing the odd rider out the back of the group. Through we go. Underneath the windmill, down through the pavé sprint, down through the centre of town past the Murray, and heading past the monuments to Resistance, and then taking the sweeping right-hand turn here. So it's time to head out of town. First big attack gone in, been neutralised, been pulled back. Remember, next trigger point likely to be the aqueduct climb. Bodies being distanced out of the back of that group. So just making our way in and through the lavender fields here on the edge of town. Mason still nicely tucked in here. Jimmy Mack in on board. Little Keyworth Varty in this group. All rolling around the front. Simon Booth tucked in nicely. Hutchin here. Keith Richardson, one of our winners on the Continental month last month. Remember, Nonna's are with us this month. The amazing, the best food in the business. Nonna's going to be in there. And another attack has just gone. I'm sure I've just seen somebody go again. Surely this is not Jesse Yates in on the attack again. It is. He's gone for it again. I'll tell you something, we're on to the climb. He's absolutely ripping this up. How many times can they chase him down? How many times can Jesse Yates go? He's gone again. This time, Murray, Varty, Evans, Mayland, Osman are going. Hudson's in there. They are having to go and look at the damage that's being done. That was one blob of riders behind this attack by Yates. I tell you something, that gang are scared of letting Yates get any kind of distance whatsoever. It looks like Yates is being pulled back here. Finley Hudson is chasing Paul Hudson in there. Murray in there. Just seeing a real mix. Finn Davis in this group. And I'll tell you something, this group is absolutely motoring as they come up. Yates is going to be pulled back. And I think it's Jimmy Allen who's going to be doing the damage here. The Wolf's teeth are out. And it looks like Jimmy Allen is going to be the man who's going to go into the leaders who go over the top. It is the one and only Jimmy Allen. So over the top of the Pont de Gare, Allen leads them through after having pulled back Jesse Yates. That was a group of about 45 to 50 riders minimum. There are just bodies scattered all over the place. If we just take a little bit of a look back behind, this is the leading group. We have seen it absolutely decimated on the way through. Jesse Yates has ripped it up. He's thrown out the form, and we are now seeing a select group of what must be, I think, 18 to 22 riders in that pack. And we're starting to see the anvils coming in on what is a slight descent. Now, Oxenham just leading this out. Booker in there, Murray, Mayland, Wild in there, Osmond, Isaac Oliver. Now it's like Davis, Finn Davis in there. Got Hudson, Williams low. It's very, very, very interesting to see. It's 11 seconds back to this. This is group number 2 on the road. So people like Potts, Hutch, Wayne Barr, Sam Emsley in Holwell in there. Really real select group of riders. Keith Richardson is chasing group number 2 here. Warren is in group number 3, who are closing in on group number 2. Now, can these guys get this together? Because if these guys can join up with group number 2, this will reinforce group 2 and bring the numbers up to the kind of size that we're seeing in group 1 or bigger. Bit further back, you can see the Fulton group is chasing them as well. This is going to be really interesting because we've got so many riders scattered all the way behind in decent sized groups here, sweeping up riders as they go. So find a group, jump on board, get a ride in, make sure you stay with those riders and see if you can stay with the gang. This is the leading group as we come in, and you can just see they've got the gap. They've opened up a little bit of distance, but I think group 2 and group 3 behind are about to come together. We're going to try and get back to them. Let's take a look. This is group number 2 we're with. Group number 3 are coming behind. So Simon Warren's group, which is group 2, if you're with the man from 100 Climbs, he's closing in on group number 2. So group 3 is closing on group number 2. We're just above Wayne Barr in group 2 now. Group 3 is about to come together. This will become group 2 completely. And we can see what is group 4 now becoming group 3 behind. They've just come around that left-hand turn. So we have one group of leaders at the front of about 20 riders. Group number 2 at the moment is slightly small. That is just sub 20 riders, 15 seconds behind. This is group number 3. Let's take a little bit of a look at that. That is going to be about another 15 riders or so in group number 3. So if you're in there with Catlin, Radcliffe, Hind and Co., then you are going to be in group number 3 on the road. Group number 4 is looking big as well. They're a further 11 seconds behind. So this is group number 4 on the road. And this is going to be another 7 riders. Group 5, this is the group with Tracy Seeley. Group 5 having 6 riders in there. Then we've got a sole rider in Keyworth, then Lane. And then we're going to start working our way back to the Downing group. So Russ ticking his way in. The leaders, though, are on their way in towards the cloud. Now, can Jesse Yates go for a solo victory? Is he going to show us what a hard rider he really is? Is he going to be able to climb better than his old man could on this climb up here? We will soon find out. I had the pleasure of watching Sean in action on multiple rides, including on the Kellogg's Classic out in the Rose around Leeds on Home Firth. I actually went into town with Sean, with Yates and a few of the gang when they were out in town with Miller as well as Piper. It was one, and Phil Anderson as well. It was an absolute carnage day out, evening out. They went shopping for jeans, would you believe, in Leeds City Centre. Looking for Levi's. That was a long time ago. Right, here we go. Mason on the front. How long will this last? How long can Mason keep the power down and to put these riders in trouble? Well, Murray is now moving up onto the front, so now Nick Murray is on here. The question is going to be, if you go clear on this climb, can you hold the pack off? You've got to put in some serious distance, so you can't afford to go too late. You go too late, you are not going to have enough distance on the group to take it solo home. It has been soloed before. We've seen Damien Clayton solo this into the finish before now. But can anybody do a Clayton? That is going to be for us to find out. And the only way we're going to find out is to keep watching like a hawk here, as this group has sworn. I think we've got group 2, made it into group number 1 here. If I'm not much mistaken, this is looking much, much bigger now. So I think Group 2 just about making contact with Group 1 as they come onto the climb. This could give some of the climbers a little bit of a chance. We're just in with Greg Booker at the moment. So Booker's got to be a real favourite in here. So groups merging there as they come up on to the climb. Murray up here with Isaac Oliver now setting the pace. So it's Oliver putting the hammer down. He's over 300 watts. That heart rate 203 beats per minute. He's just keeping steady between 200 and about 203 as they came up here. Murray is going with him. Looks like Finn Davis is up here as well. Jesse Yates on the wheels here. And he's going to work Yates over as the new boy on the gang. Well, we're soon going to find out. This is the telling moments. We've done the first left-hand hairpin. So we have 3 sharp right-hand bends before the summit, 3 rights, 3 lefts before we get to the very top of this climb. And at the moment, you can see John Wild is leading them out on here. He's definitely not the new boy of the gang. He's been around for a while on the gang. He's been riding really strongly. Looks like he's all set up for a fast day today. Got the disc on, the lightest disc setup on that you can get on Zwift. He's also got a full-on aero frame there in that foil. So at the moment, he's keeping that pace high, still doing 40 kph. We're on a 2% slope at the moment, but remember, it ramps up. So the next left, this is the third to last left-hand turn coming in. As he comes in and around it, he's got company. And interestingly, it's Isaac Oliver who is with him. It looks like Booker is coming across that gap. And these 3 riders are leaving the rest of the group behind. Are they missing a trick behind here? Because this group could open up. You've got Wild, you've got Booker, you've got Oliver. 3 riders on the way through. Williams is saying, keep the blob, keep the group together. We can work together on the way through. Looks like Jimmy Mack is in here. Mason is in here. There's some big firepower in this group. You've got Williams. Look at this. You've got Oxenham. These are riders who we know have got speed and pace on the way down the hill. 6 seconds is the gap, I think, to the leaders. So Booker up there at the moment, and Jesse Yates went across that gap like it didn't exist. The second he was in the chasing group, next second he's in the leading group, and if you look at that map, it is dot to dot with riders scattered. The red about to hit the base of the climb, the front of the ride making its way up. 4 very strong riders: Greg Booker, Isaac Oliver, John Wild, and Jesse Yates. They've opened another second out on the group behind. So it is 4 riders in front. Then it's Jimmy Mack, it's Finn Davis, it's going to be Lowe, Hudson, Williams, Murray, Mason, and Oxenham. So I make that 8 riders behind, chasing 4. Double the number of riders behind, but what they can't afford to do is lose Isaac Oliver. Come on, Isaac, you can't afford to go pop now, buddy. That group behind is going to change dynamic. So it was 4 riders in front with 8 riders chasing. Isaac Oliver is in no man's land in the middle here and going to get swept up by that group. And that means it's going to be 3 riders and 9 riders behind if they can all get back together. But this group has split, and it looks like Mason and Oxenham have been distanced as well. Now, who has got something really useful? What would you want at this stage? You want an anvil. When you're going to use it? Straight away. Get that gap opened right out. So Jesse Yates, Greg Booker, and John Wild, 3 riders on this descent. The gap is 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Isaac Oliver has got an anvil. He's only gone and got an anvil as he went over the top. This is going to be tough stuff. He's one of our lightest riders. He's employed it, and now look at this. Finn Davis has got the same, so has Lowe. Lowe has also got an anvil on board. And that means as Tom Lowe's chucked it out, he's in trouble. Mason's not got one. These 3 riders are pulling clear because of the power of that anvil. They've got 12 seconds to the leaders, now 11 seconds. I can see the riders behind. So we've got a group of 3 who are currently up at the front here. We've got 3 chasers behind, all of which have accelerated up using that power of that anvil to try and close down on the leaders. Looks like Williams is having to do his own work. So is Murray, Jimmy Mack, Finley, Hudson, Mason, and Oxenham. And any hopes of a concerted chase back has been blown apart, and the hopes has been dashed, absolutely smashed on the rocks. But the anvil that was thrown out like an anchor by these 3 riders, they have descended down, but now they are stuck. They are 8 seconds on the firepower. That is Wild, that is Booker, and that is Yates. Now, these riders have got to be looking in their rearview mirror. They know 10 seconds back to Oliver, Davis, and Lowe. 19, now nearly 20 seconds back to Williams, Murray. Jimmy Max at 30 seconds, 35 to Hudson. If that group had stayed as one, then it might have had a chance. But does it have a chance now? Very, very debatable. It's going out again. We're now at 11 seconds, heading for 12. So I think it's a case of Ali ejector S. The die has been cast. It may well be the case that the riders behind maybe ruined the decision to throw those anvils down because they've chucked the anvil in and it's not got them across. It will put them, I think, into the fight for 4th, 5th, and 6th, but it has not got them back to the group. Would they have pulled this group back had they stayed as 9 riders? Maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't have done. We will have to wait until we come back to cast backs next time around. Now, we know Booker's got a great kick on him, and we've seen him take the win before. John Wild has won on the Chaingang before. John Wild, slightly older than Jesse Yates. I think John's double his age. The question might be, he got double the sprint because he's going to need it. Yates, a consummate pro, sat in here. And everybody's starting to look at each other. Wild is not wanting to let these 16 seconds disappear. But we are in to our run in to what's the finish. So let's get you these riders. Green camo, that is John Wild from Velo Viewer. In the blue and black, that's Greg Booker from Summit Cycles. In the all black, it is Jesse Yates. He's riding that today's blind kit. we're going to go with our drone cam in a hope that we can stay with him now. This is about the finish to the line. Here comes the sprint. Here comes the kick. They're leaving it late. The longer they leave it, the more sprint kick there's going to be. Here comes Booker. Booker has gone early here, and Booker could have them napping. I think he's caught them napping. He's gone hard. He's gone over the top. He's at 15 watts per kilo. Booker gets it. Yates in second. Wild in third. Then it's going to be Dale Williams coming through to take fourth. Low in fifth. Finn Davis in sixth. Murray in seventh. Isaac Oliver's going to take eighth. Oxenham is going to come through for ninth position. Immediately behind him, it's going to be Finley Hudson. I think he's going to take 10th. Jimmy Mack is going to take potentially 11th. Then it's going to be the Fat Cyclist. Oh, just getting robbed by the Jimmy Allen group, getting caught on that descent. So riders all over the road on the way through. Great riding. Well done to everybody on the way through. Congratulations to Greg Booker. He got that finish right. Jesse, next time, buddy. Next time. Right. Let's see how we're going to go. John Wild, tell you something. I want whatever that man has for breakfast. Because he's the Peter Pan of the Donny Chaingang is John Wild. I have no idea how he is able to hold on to him. What I do. He's just class on wheels. Absolute class. I've watched him race in real life. Super, super fast. Now, here we go. Eddie Dalglish is going to be in this group. Has he got the kick? I think he has. Here we go. He's going to come in. Pillsworth just gets it from Dalglish. Then Mick Hawkins. Then it's Simon Warren. Next up is going to be Keith Richardson. So here we go. Dave Fulton, the next rider. He's got Hudson on his wheel. This is going to be close. Let's take a look. Hudson goes over the top. It's going to be Hudson who takes it. Then it's Fulton. Next up will be Wayne Barr. Barr with a bit of gap behind him after all that work on the way through. Jimmy Mack, Blue Pin Anvils. Yep. Blew your group apart as well as the top of the climb. So next up is Potts, then it's going to be Garford, or is it? It's going to be Hose. Hose just gets over the top there of Garford, then it's Malin and West. Wilson coming through. It looks like Orrell and Co on the way through. Haggard coming through. Clark coming through. Catlin in there. Radcliffe on the way down. Radcliffe's going to have to sprint this out. He's got Westwood on the heels. Westwood, though, they've got the victory with Booker. Summit Cycling got Summit CC got the win already. Next to run for the line, I think this is going to be Dick Samuel who's going to take it from Hutch and Gale. Time to spin those legs down now. Next up will be Main and Gibbo. This is going to be a 2 up as they come through. Who's going to get the kick? We're going to come round this right-hand turn. Looks like Gibbo just going on to the side here. They're going to be side by side coming in. They're about 5 seconds on Forbes. Who's going to get the run for the line? They're both squeezing. They don't want it to commit to a full-on sprint here. The watts per kilo is just hovering. I think Gibbo's just going to roll it in. Behind Forbes is coming. He's going to go through. Forbes another round winners on DCG Gang. Then it's going to be Andy Singleton coming through. He's got the gap on Rob Wimble. Wimble has a little bit of a gap on the big sprinter that is Sean Ferron. Good to see Rob back on the gang. Good to see you once again, buddy. So it is Rob Wimble who's going to come to the line. He's got that little bit of a gap. He puts in the sprint, that final kick in underneath the gantry. Then it is going to be Sean Ferron. Next in is going to be Terminator T2. 3 rides complete on the DCG this week. Some people call it an addiction. Other people call it the Donny Chaingang. Next up, Sir Rodney just out sprinting Rich Lemmy, Chris Sadler. Then it's going to be Brewer coming through. Then it's going to be Priester. So Priester with a little bit of a gap. Woof. It's manic tonight. Love Cat's Pass course. Absolutely love it. Not just because it's in France, but because it always produces an absolutely stunning run. Now, Russ is saying he'll lead everybody out. The problem is that Russ's lead out is so fast, he's in danger of rolling, but he rolls it with that. He's a proper pro. Look at that. He gives it to Callum McCraig and Andy Keyworth. Russ leads them in, eases off. He knows what he's doing. He knows the score. That's a great lead by Russ once again. Takes them all the way till he can go no longer. Then he goes right in and gives people a ride all the way into the line further down. That's what we want to see on the Chaingang. What a ride tonight. Fantastic stuff. Chris Cadham comes through next. Then it's going to be Jason Stevens. Matt Winston comes in through that line just ahead of Phil Oliver. Then it's going to be Lowe coming through. Kick from Lowe and the sprint for the Elizo. Chris comes through. Nice boost there. 9.7 watts per kilo coming out. Then it's going to be Steve Cannon. Cannon with 8 seconds on Darren Topless. Darren from Pine Cycles on his way through. Good luck with the race promotion. I know you've got the mountain biking going back down to Pines, so some mountain bike racing back in Pines, which is great to see. Behind it it's going to be Scott Cowie, who's going to be coming through. So Scott with a gap to the next group of riders. It should be a duo, but Scott in underneath the line. Time to spin that down now. The dynamic duo that is Vin Donahoe and Bobby Mason. Two absolute gents of the Chaingang together. Vin riding in here. Vin, of course, part of the team that brought the in real life rides all the way through. Russ on his way out. Have a good weekend to everybody from Russ. Russ, enjoy the weekend. Get some rest, mate. I know you've been absolutely mad. Don't spend all the time answering all those bike flex emails. Take 2 minutes on the way through. So Bobby and Vin with a wave. Bobby on the way through. Apparently Bobby said he ain't sprinting. He said he's not spreading. Yeah, definitely thanks to support to the DCG gang from all of us on the Chaingang. So here we go. Then Donahue on his way in. Bobby Mason alongside. The pair of them are going to come in to the line. No sprint from these two. Don't blame him on the way through. A tough day at the office. Immediately behind it's going to be Gary Pattison. Pattison's got about 16 seconds to Mark Grant. Grant very quick in a sprint, but I think that's too much gap to make up. So Gary Patterson going to be our next finisher on the Chaingang. Quick reminder, whilst Gary just makes his way around this right-hand turn to the line, please guys make sure you support the people who support the Chaingang. They're all across the bottom of your screen down there. And of course, it is Nonna's month all the way through. The Spring Classics are here, and looking forward to watching Strada Bianche as we come in now. Here we are. Mark Grant comes in to the line. Our next finisher on the Chaingang. He's got about 47 seconds on the ride. It's good riding there by Mark, as always on the gang. And then it is going to be the bus. And on the bus we have Jim Flynn. The bus that's doing like nearly 3 watts per kilo, because it's absolutely motoring. Tom Linley, who's warming his legs up. Good luck with the race later on, Tom. Nice bike setup, buddy. Nice bike is important for your head as well as for going fast. And Simon Runnett, who is our beacon, who we will jump on when we go over the line. Now, here we go. Jim Flynn opening it up. He's going to wind it up. We know that Lindley's going to give it. Come on, youth. Oh, there's no doubting Mr. Lindley's going to go put a big dig in here. But look at Jim Flynn, only just losing out there to Tom Lindley on the way through. Good riding there, Jim. And, of course, massive thank you to our Red Beacon, to Simon Runnett, who jumped in on the way through. Great to see. Red Beacon's always sprint, Tom. You just don't spend enough time in the right company, mate. That's what it is. Too much time spent at the front. So here we go. The gang on its way in and making the way down. Don't forget, guys, the Chaingang's brought to you because we get the support of the members of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. Still time to join this month. Help us put the Chaingang on. It takes a lot of time behind the scenes to get the riding and the racing out for you. So please, please, please do help us by jumping in. Going to say a big thank you to all of the guys who are up over there, to 1080 OTE Gritty, to Velaskin Halo, to Continental, and of course to Nonnas, who you can see up on the top of the screen as well, because it is Nonnas month. Who else would we have for the Italian Classic start of Strada Bianchi, for Milan San Remo, for all of our spring classics? So if you want a classic night out, get yourselves down to Nonnas. Go see Stefano is on the ride tonight. Make sure you go down and have a cracking night out. Plan to be down there when we come back to the UK. Definitely missing not going. Now, we are going to be back very shortly, because we have got 3 more rides next week. We've got the Donny Chaingang, the Open Chaingang for everybody on Tuesday and Thursday. We've got the WOW DCG, the anti-penultimate WOW DCG. 3 more to go in the WOW DCG. So please, 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 guys, make sure if you're going to jump on there, you do so. Get those rides in before we come to a close at the end of March. On Sunday, myself and Emma will be streaming live esports racing. That is going to be coming out. You need to follow our social medias. We won't plug that on here, but basically follow our social media feeds. It's at Biking Emma and at Matt Fixer Pain for those. Or you can catch up with where we're going to be, watch some of the highlights, see what we get up to. Not just Donny Chaingang. And you can do that at Full Speed Events. So make sure you jump on to social media for that. Don't forget, make sure you follow Russ for Bike Flex, for the Espresso Coffee, the Rocket Espresso. Make sure you follow Russ for all of the rides and the details, the Donny Chaingang, and of course for all the only comments that can only come from the one and only Bear from Russ Downing. So in the meantime, make sure you get on the bike, get some riding done. My plan is to get out on it tomorrow or Saturday. Let's see how much admin we get done. Please, guys, make sure you sign up nice and early. Thank you for riding, for supporting, and of course, just as importantly, for watching. From Russ, from Simon, who's making his way out, his way off. Please, guys, keep safe, stay safe. From Russ, myself, everybody in the Chain Gang. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.